All right, let's dive into a really cool and honestly pretty crucial piece of modern tech, Google Anthos. If you've ever wondered how these massive companies manage applications that are spread literally all over the planet on different clouds, different servers, well, you're about to find out. So let's start with a problem that I guarantee you tons of tech teams and businesses are wrestling with right now. It's actually a good problem to have, right? It's born from growth, but it's still a problem. Your applications aren't just sitting in one neat little box anymore. They're everywhere. And that, my friends, creates a very real kind of chaos. Think of it like this. You're navigating what we call the modern application maze, and it just keeps getting more and more complex every single day. Now, this isn't because of bad planning or anything. It's just the natural result of trying to build the absolute best services for users wherever they happen to be. You see, today's apps are scattered all over the place. Some parts might be running on a public cloud, maybe Google Cloud, maybe AWS, maybe Azure. Other parts are still chugging away in private, on-prem data centers. And now we're even pushing them out to edge locations, which are basically just closer to where you, the user, actually are.
Now, this is a huge shift from how we used to build software. We used to have this thing called a monolith, one giant application where everything was tangled together. The new way? Oh, it's completely different. We break that monolith down into maybe dozens or even hundreds of tiny, independent little programs called microservices, and they can live in all those different locations we just talked about.
And this is where the headache begins. Because managing all these little pieces in all these different places, it is incredibly difficult. Every cloud provider has its own set of tools, its own rulebook. Your own servers have another. There's no single command center, no one place to see what's going on. It's a total management nightmare. So what's the fix? What's the dream for anyone who has to operate this kind of complex system? The goal, really the holy grail for the industry, is to have one central place to see and manage everything. It's what people call a single pane of glass. One screen to rule them all. So this perfect dream dashboard would have to do three things really, really well. First, centralization, a single user interface for everything. I don't care where it's running. Second, consistency, the same language, the same view, whether you're looking at something on AWS or in your own basement. And finally, it's got to be easy to use. It has to take all that complicated data and boil it down into something you can actually understand and act on. And that right there is where Google's solution, Anthos, comes into the picture. It is designed from the ground up to be that single pane of glass, to be that unified control tower for this whole application maze. Now, for a lot of this explainer, we're pulling our insights from a fantastic book called Google Anthos in Action. It does a really, really deep dive into how this whole platform works right from the inside out. It's great stuff. And this quote from the book's preface just hits the nail on the head. Anthos wasn't some academic project. It was built to solve this exact real-world problem that customers were having. How do I manage my stuff anywhere? So to put it as simply as possible, think of Anthos as the universal remote for your apps. It's the control tower. It takes all the powerful, battle-tested services and know-how from Google's own cloud and extends it outwards, letting you manage applications no matter where on Earth they live. Okay, so how does it actually work? How does Anthos pull this off? Let's pop the hood and take a quick look at the engine. The whole thing is built on this incredibly powerful open-source foundation called Kubernetes. The easiest way to think about Kubernetes is that it's like the universal operating system for all these modern cloud-native apps. It's the conductor of the orchestra, making sure all those little microservices are playing together nicely. And you can really see how it works in this diagram here. Look, down at the bottom, you've got all your different kinds of infrastructure. Google Cloud, other clouds, your own servers. What Anthos does is build these consistent layers on top of all of them for things like management, security, and services. It basically creates one unified platform out of all those different pieces. Okay, so there's this one really important idea in Anthos you got to get, and it's called a fleet. A fleet is just a way to logically group your Kubernetes clusters together, no matter where they are, and then manage them all as if they were one single thing. This makes applying security rules and running your daily operations so much simpler. So what? What's the payoff here? Why does a platform like this actually matter to the developers writing the code, the operators keeping the lights on, and, well, the business itself? Well, it's a total game changer for everybody involved. For developers, it means portability. You write your code once, and you can be confident it's going to run anywhere in the fleet.
For the operators, it's that single pane of glass dream we talked about. And for the business, it all boils down to one thing. You get to innovate faster and way more reliably.
And look, this isn't just about making things feel nicer for the tech teams. These capabilities, they directly lead to higher performance and better business results. This is what a well-known research group called DORA calls achieving excellence in software development.
And here's the number that really makes you sit up. The research from DORA is pretty clear. Elite software teams, the ones who really nail these modern practices, are twice as effective at hitting their business goals. Not 10% better, twice as effective. That's huge.
So if we bring it all home, Anthos is really designed to do this one thing: let you go faster on the development side by giving your coders a stable, consistent target, while at the same time standardizing the super complex job of operations. It creates one consistent experience, everywhere. It brings order to the chaos. It takes that confusing application maze we started with and transforms it into a well-run, unified system, all managed from that one, single, powerful control tower. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If you could just wipe away all that friction and chaos, if you could truly unify all of your clouds and all your infrastructure, what new doors would that open for you? What amazing thing would you build next?